RebeccaFredericksTV is an exciting new brand run by women for women, which believes that we need to take control of our lives and redefine what success means for the 21st century woman. The brand empowers women like you with the self-confidence to go out there and create the success and therefore the lives that they want. Covering self, work, relationships, fitness, and nutrition. We provide all the tools, tips, strategies, and support you need to create a life you love.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Fredericks and welcome to RebeccaFredericksTV, the place to be for your personal and professional success. Today's episode focuses on what to do when you don't seem to understand or be understood by your partner anymore. Often when we're in a relationship, we can feel like we're on completely different pages. You can feel unloved even though your partner is convinced he's showing you lots of love. You can feel misunderstood, not listened to, not appreciated, and your partner has no idea how to communicate with you to help you to feel any different. And these types of miscommunications and differences can put a lot of pressure on a relationship and cause conflict and resentment and unhappiness. So today, I'm going to explain to you why this happens and show you what you can do to stop this from happening in the future. Now, we all process information in different ways. What happens is that sensory information comes into us from the outside world via our 5 senses. So our eyes, our ears, our sense of touch, our mouth, and our nose. This information then gets filtered by being deleted, distorted, or generalized before we process it. And in order to really understand someone, you need to know how they process information. Now, we all use 3 main representational systems to process information and make sense of the world. And these are the visual representational system, the auditory representational system, and the kinesthetic representational system. And even though we all use all 3 systems all the time, we tend to favor one system over the others. And those that don't favor one system are said to be auditory digital. Now, our favored representational system relates to which system we use the most often. And we all use all 3 systems, but you will have a favored one that you will rely on and use subconsciously more often than the others. So those who favor the visual representational system process most of the information from the outside world via their eyes. And those who favor the auditory representational system, as you've probably guessed, process most of the information from the outside world via their ears. And those who favor the kinesthetic representational system process most of the information from the outside world via their senses. Now, which representational system we use the most often actually says a lot about us. And by understanding our own and the favoured representational system of others, we're able to communicate with them in a language that they understand. Now, I don't mean a language like English or French, but by using words and speech patterns and physicalities that the other person uses and can relate most easily to. Now, I don't have time to go into the verbal and non-verbal communication patterns associated with people who favour the different systems in this blog, but I will do in some of my other trainings, so keep an eye out for that. Now, if you're having trouble understanding and communicating with your partner, it is likely to be because he processes information differently from you. He probably uses a different representational system altogether to process the information that he is receiving. So let me show you how this might work and the problems that might result. So let's say that you favor your visual representational system. This means that you process most information and subconsciously pay most attention to the information which is presented visually. And let's say your partner is an auditory person, so he favors his auditory representational system and subconsciously pays most attention to the information that he receives via his ears. In order for a visual person to feel loved, they may need certain visual cues, for example, to be looked in the eyes as well as being looked at in a certain way. However, the auditory person needs to hear the words "I love you" said in a certain tone of voice. What do you think happens when they try and communicate love to each other? Because the visual person needs a certain look and to be told that they are loved with direct eye contact, but the auditory person doesn't need these things, the auditory person may not know how important they are and not do them. And this means that the visual person can be left feeling unloved, even though the auditory person thinks they have been very loving, because they've communicated love in the way that works for them, but not necessarily in the way that works most effectively for their partner. What we naturally do is just what works for us. Because the auditory person only needs to hear the words, "I love you," it may not even occur to them that it's important for these words to be said with a certain look and with eye contact. And because the auditory person needs to be told the exact words, "I love you," in a certain tone of voice, if this doesn't happen, they can also be left feeling completely unloved. And this is simply because we process information in different ways. Different parts of a message and the way they are communicated to us are important for different reasons to each of us uniquely. And by understanding that we are all different and that we all have different needs, we can learn what to do so that these misunderstandings stop happening altogether. So by understanding our own and the favoured representational systems of the people we are in a relationship with, we are able to communicate with them in a language they understand. By understanding and using a person's favoured system, you can speak to them in their way, and by doing this, get your message understood quickly and effectively. Everybody is unique, but knowing someone's favoured representational system is like getting a key into their world, and all you need to do is match it in order to understand and be understood by them. Now, I've attached a representational system preferences test to this blog over at RebeccaFredericksTV so that you can test your own and, if you like, your partner's preferences. So please download this if you'd like to find out which of the representational systems you and maybe your partner use the most often. I hope you'll find the test interesting and helpful, and that it helps you to communicate more effectively with the people in your life. If you've liked this episode, then please like it below and like it on Facebook, and share it with any of your friends that you think may be interested. Today's tweet is, understand how your man processes information to really understand your man. As always, remember that you are in control of your own life. If you want something to happen, you have to go out there and make the changes. That's not to say that others can't support you and help you. That is why I'm here, and that is what your friends and family are for. But you have all the power that you will ever need inside of yourself. So use it and create a life and a future that you love. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and thank you for watching on Friday.